I'm getting ready to attend another card show this weekend, and I thought it was about time I made a video explaining how I prepare to be ready to buy inventory for my online store. Check this out. Yo YouTube, back with another instructional video. This is how I make my approach when I'm going to a card show to be a buyer for inventory for my store. I also have a giant stack of sales from yesterday. We had a really good sales day, lots of multiple card sales. So I'm going to go over some of those. So let's get started. There's some things that I do before it even gets to the day of the show to prepare. Number one is I have to set a budget. So I look at what the show is. How big is it? How small is it? How much do I have to spend to get there? Is it a long travel period? Do I have to stay in a hotel? Is it a multi-day show? Those all impact, what your budget is going to be for the show. Generally, I'm going to shows in my area. I'm very fortunate. I have a lot around here. And I will, in most instances, for a smaller local show, I'll bring $200. And I do that on purpose because I feel like that gets me a good amount of inventory. It's fairly well contained, and I do my best to spend the entire amount. Now, in a bigger show or an out-of-town show, I might double that, look at $400 or $500. The National is a whole other story. That's a few $1,000s because it's such a large show and there's so much inventory to pick up there. Time is also money. So you brought $200 with you looking for inventory to buy. Do your best to try to find the inventory to buy. But really try to do your best to spend it all when you get there. So our first sale is a good one. I have this 1997 Motion Vision Barry Sanders. I loved this set when it came out. It's actually, I've got a whole box of them right here. I bought a sealed box from my local card shop for $19. This did not come from that. You'll see, I still have all the packs in here. They've all been opened, but it didn't come from this. I bought this as an individual pack. He had a bunch of packs in the store, $1 per pack. Now remember, I don't know if you know this set, but they come in these little CD cases, and you only get one card per case, or per pack. Like this one's Antonio Freeman. Backwards? No, that's right. So anyway, but I bought a bunch of individual packs for $1 a pack, and there's only a few different players in the set. Most of them are pretty good. Some of them are not. You have like Joey Galloway and Music Bruce, Terry Glenn. Some of those players aren't going to be big sellers, but you have Barry and Emmett and Favre and all those, Marino, all those guys, and they sell really well. Now, I didn't buy an entire box. I bought single packs, so the shots at the limited replays, which are the better ones, sell better. Didn't have much chance at that, but I figured at $1 a pack, these sell pretty well, the better players. It was worth my time. So this Barry Sanders actually got 2 out of the 10 packs I bought. This one sold for $10.99. So I got all my money back selling just the one Barry Sanders card. Pretty cool. Now obviously these cards are a bit thicker, being the lenticular plastic, but they fit in a card saver just fine, and they're under the 1 ounce, so you can still send this in standard envelope. The next thing I do to prepare ahead of time is I look at my inventory. Sometimes my physical inventory, but usually just on the computer. I try to look at certain players that I like to buy that are selling really well right now and kind of see where I'm at with things. And then kind of make a list. At this point, I've been doing it long enough, I just sort of have a mental list running of things I'm looking to buy. You might need to write it down or put a list in your phone, whatever it takes for you to be able to access that information when you're live at the show. And there's so much going on, it might be hard for you to pull that from memory. But I tend to look for, what do I need, right? So everybody kind of has their niche, and you sell certain things. So I look at the things that sell really well for me, and what am I short on, or what could I use more of? And that becomes primarily the top of my want list for the show. After that, then I kind of think about, what would I like to have? What don't I have currently that I would like to have? Now remember, this list is not something you're going to be able to just fill. when you get there, it's all a surprise what is being offered, what the prices are going to be, things like that. So I like to have a pretty good sizable list in my head of things that I would buy so that I have a lot of opportunities to pick up different cards based on whatever actually exists at the show. My next sale is in Otani, and that, speaking of lists, that's one of the things that's been on my list to buy at shows. I bought a ton of it last year, sold a ton of it. Obviously, had a really good year up till injury, and so I wanted to pick more up. It gets kind of cheap in the off season, especially with the injury. And I was shocked this last show that I was at. I could get some Otani base cards in 10-cent boxes and quarter boxes and stuff like that, and I haven't seen that ever. So I bought as much of that as I possibly could, and now Otani stuff is selling better again. So I sold this Titan Mosaic. Is this, yeah, Chronicles Titan card? It's just a base version. It's not, color or anything. And I got $4.99 for it. One of the ways I get a list in my head of what I should be looking for is I look at what's selling currently. Not just from my store, we kind of talked about that, but I also look at the Sports Card Investor app, which shows like the top 10 sellers. You can look at sold listings on eBay, for certain players or certain types of cards, and add to your list a little bit that way. Also, you want to think about what is coming up in sports. Now, obviously, if you're buying non-sport stuff, that's a whole different thing. Those just keep on going. Although maybe not. There might be a movie coming out, a new Ninja Turtles movie or a new Marvel movie, X-Men movie, something like that, that might spur your interest to buy more cards in that. But as far as sports are concerned, you want to look at what is the seasons that are going to be starting. Is there a draft happening? Is there news about a certain player? Is there a trade? Playoffs coming up, things like that. Was someone just crowned a champion? Those are all things that maybe will impact what you're going to look to buy. This next sale is a nice Brett Favre insert card again. It's one of those tie-dyed select snapshots cards that I bought a whole bunch of at the local shop, numbered out of 25, of course. This is number 2. I had 4 of them at one time. I'm down to just the one for my PC, but I sold this one for $57. I bought these for $15 a piece at a local shop. All right, so we're prepared and we're ready to go to this show. What do we do day of the show to be ready to go? Day of the show, get up early, get yourself a good breakfast because you might be working past lunch looking through those boxes if you're anything like me, and make sure you get to that show early before it opens. Even there's many times I get to shows and I can walk right in and start looking through boxes even before the actual show time starts. My next sale is from Skybox Metal Universe, one of my favorite set releases every year when it comes out. And this is the orange parallel, I think, or maybe they're all this color. I can't remember, but it's the Intimidation Nation insert, and it's Sabrina Ionescu, a very dominant WNBA player, and this sold for $4.99. So we've done all our prep work, and now we're actually at the show. What do we do from there? First thing I like to do is just survey the room, especially if it's a show I haven't been to before. I kind of like to see how it's laid out, where certain dealers are placed, how you can move around, and so forth. Then I like to look for dealers that I've bought from previously. Kind of have a rapport with them. I know what they sell. I know what kind of deals I can get. If they're there, I can probably work another transaction like I had in the past. Then I look for tables that have lots of 5-row boxes, big quantity, sleeved and unsleeved cards, the type of stuff that I like to dig through. Especially tables that have a lot of action. If you're getting in there early or you're there right at the start and you start seeing kind of the mass of box diggers, value box diggers, conjoining to a table, there's probably some good stuff in it. Word travels very fast at a show. Getting to the boxes that have the stuff in it that you want to buy early is imperative. As soon as somebody else goes through that box, they've probably picked out stuff that you would have bought or stuff that was underpriced, and you missed out. And that's it. That's the only chance you get at a show is what's there. Some dealers will have extra boxes under the table, and you might even know some of those dealers. I've run into that in the past. Or you start digging, you're grabbing a bunch of cards out, and they'll say, hey, I've got another box over here. Would you like to look through that one? Absolutely never turn that down, because that is a box that has not been searched through, or if it has, it's only been searched by one or two buyers. Our next sale is an Albert Pujols card. It's Roll Call from Topps Big League, one of my favorite products of the year. Very affordable as well. And it sold for $2.99. And the last sale I'm going to show in this video is a 2011, I think this is, 2013, excuse me, 2013 Topps Chrome Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of what am I buying at shows, I'm going to be looking for some Aaron Rodgers stuff because he's going to be back this season after injury. His stuff has dropped way down. You find him a lot in discount and value boxes, not as much around me because the team is here, but I believe there's going to be some upcoming very good resale potential for Aaron Rodgers stuff. And this sold for $4. If you would like to see the rest of the sales in the video, including my largest sale of the day, which was a vintage sale, please visit the Patreon page to see the extended cut there. It's going to be exclusive only to members on the Patreon. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.